So you're walking around the owners' meeting, and then all of a sudden, Davante gets
all hell
traded.
breaks loose.
Right? Is that really what happened yesterday, Albert?
Yeah, what was interesting was a little earlier in the morning, I got wind that Davante was in the building because somebody had said to me at the beginning of the day, it's like it could go down today, be ready for it. And then so I hit up a couple people that work there, and somebody texted me back. Yeah, he's actually supposedly in the building. So that's obviously when you're on high alert. And I don't think this was a reaction to the Monday night game, but there's certainly a high level of urgency in that organization right now, especially after what happened on Monday night. And I think, as I've said to you before, there was perception among other teams that were involved in this, the Bills, the Steelers, that Davante and Aaron were trying to engineer this outcome. And I think some of the communication issues that Aaron has had with some of the other receivers there, it's been documented, the statistical stuff with Garrett Wilson. And then you look at what he said about Mike Williams after the game. It's clear how important that rapport with his receivers is. A huge reason, obviously, why Alan Lazard is there. And now they've got his number one from Green Bay too. I don't know if MVS is going to be making the trip over with Davante, but
interesting.
He's available also, right?
Right. So obviously, this is as significant an acquisition as I could recall, with the seat of power of the NFL all convened together. So this was basically ordained. You would think that Rodgers was the one pulling all these strings behind the scenes, and I know that that's always rife with, or fraught
accusations about tampering. But
not that. But just that Rodgers is running the show, and that so many people are thinking that he had something to do with Saleh's firing also because of all that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's true. I talked to everybody involved last week, and I know one thing that was an important detail that I delivered on Thursday. I thought at least it was important, was that Aaron and Robert had a 30-minute conversation on Wednesday. So that wasn't like a clearing of the air. That was just talking and seeing how you're doing, and I think the two will remain friends. Like, I don't think that Aaron pushed Robert Saleh out. I think that was a Woody Johnson operation, and I think it wasn't a result, in large part of the fact that Robert wasn't Woody's hire, and Woody never really warmed up to Robert Saleh.
Why? Because it was his brother's hire while he was the UK the ambassador to the UK. Is that what you're saying?
So I think that was a big piece of it. And, as I said, and I think I may have mentioned this to you on text too, like the Kyle Shanahan pursuit of Jeff Ulbrich, I think was a factor in the decision to go to Ulbrich here, which that happened almost 2 years ago now. And at least changing Woody's perception of Ulbrich as a potential future head coach. And I think, it's going to be interesting to see where the team goes from here, because you pull that lever, and I don't think effort was ever an issue. I don't know. You watch them really close, Rich. You don't think like effort was ever an issue from the players, right?
No, I know. And certainly when I saw them in London, I did not get any sense of Saleh thinking his job was on the line. I didn't get any sense of Rodgers and Saleh, not getting along. Didn't get any sense of that at all. But I guess I'll let you finish on where you think that this does put the Jets right now in your mind.
I think what's interesting about it is there were a lot of questions in that locker room last week when this happened. What exactly are we trying to accomplish here? Like, what exactly is this going to do for us? Because generally when you see a coach get fired in midseason, it's one of a couple things. Either he's lost the locker room or the season is lost, and you want to signal maybe to a head coaching candidate out there that your job's going to be available. I don't think any of the conventional reasons for doing something like this really applied. And on top of that, you have a defense that was playing really well. And not only are you losing the architect of the defense in getting rid of Robert Saleh, but you're also now taking the play caller in Jeff Ulbrich and stretching him thin, right? So, you have to backfill that also. And they only have one guy on their staff other than Ulbrich who's been a defensive coordinator. That's Marquand Manuel. So, I think for the players in the team who loved Saleh, I think that was a big question, was like, what exactly is this going to accomplish? And now you go out and you lose the first game and you're 2-4 and you're going into Pittsburgh on a Sunday night. And I think the Buffalo game was important. This feels like a real, like kind of inflection point for their season coming up, doesn't it, Rich? Like going into that Sunday night game. Like, what do they look like? How do they play? Does Todd Downing make a difference? Is the defense still playing well? We have so many questions going into, and you know this, Pittsburgh's a hornet's nest in a primetime environment, And so I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they come out of that because of just, I think, where the player's mindset was over the last 7 or 8 days.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.